this is Taylor. Our problem is that we are trying to do so much.
Okay.
And as you know, I have two amazing business partners, but I am kind of the face of the company at this point to meet with all the caregivers. But being
Okay.
one person has really kind of limited us, and trying to prioritize that has been a difficult problem.
And so what you bring up is a perfect example, Taylor, of why Business Growth Simplified approaches things the way that they approach it. Okay.
Well,
The
you've already
first
helped us in a week. I've said that 100
No,
times.
I'm happy that you guys were so excited for what we did last week. I mean, I've not had people that were, I mean, it was like you guys were jumping up and down in your chairs. Let's take it from the most basic problem solving point of view. Okay. You got problems, you got lots of stuff going on, but we've helped you define where you're at. You're in the foundation stage. So your only goal is break even, right? So
Break
we
even.
need cash flow. So that's the highest priority. So I have all these things. What's the highest priority item on there that will allow you to begin to cash flow so that you can break even?
To get me out selling.
We fixed the problem.
And that's what I love doing.
There's another problem though that comes from that, which is why I suggested that we do this first, right? What are you selling?
Right.
You don't know that yet. So from a sales standpoint, you haven't told me what my product is. And this is the revenue engine now, right? I get paid because I sell and deliver something, but what am I delivering? Because if I don't know that, then I don't know what I should be talking to customers about, which is what salespeople do, right? So this helps you to prioritize that list in a manner that says, okay, we had a great idea for a business. We did all the business things, but we really didn't even know what it was that we were selling before we started all of that. And so we spent a lot of time building infrastructure. We don't even know if the infrastructure is going to support what the ultimate end goal is. And that's why if you haven't really done a good job of defining what it is that you want to sell, it's hard to determine what are all those other pieces that I need. So
Right. And it's been hard to put together collateral to bring out there on a sales call because we haven't fine-tuned what we're selling. So Michael and I actually talked a lot this week, and I think we're getting there with all the exercises that we've done, but we still have a little bit of work to do. And next week, my goal is, I have to put together some collateral. I have something to bring with me.
Okay, well, and hopefully today will help you to refine that. Thank you for sharing that, Taylor. See, you've already attempted to launch and have had a little bit of success, but you realize too, as you look at this, that it's like, if I scale this is not going to get me where I want to go. And that's why we're taking the step back and we're saying, okay, we need to rethink that. You make sure that you've done that pre-work that you need to before you try to go out and you don't make that mislaunch. I see Natalie shaking her head because it was funny. We had a conversation, bi-weekly call was yesterday, and she brought up the fact that where you guys are at, Taylor and Michael, right now with yours, she said she was here about 3 or 4 years ago. And if she'd have met me then, she said she would be way farther ahead at this point than she was.
I've been selling a lot of different things because, like you, I needed like most everybody on the call, you need the cash, right? So nobody's going to give you the cash till you have the cash. So I sold, and my vision was broad. And it's not that my vision isn't still broad, but the pandemic forced me to say, well, how am I going to pay the bills for the next 6 months? Things are getting really shaky and dicey. What I'm doing is not sustainable, and I need to sell more of it. And then I need to get help. Right. And cash so I can get help. So if Dino had talked to me 2 years ago, I would have told him, and probably when we did the revenue generator, I think I at least still had 5 service lines in there, and now we're down to 1 service line. But I'm really down to focus on selling one service line, and that is going to give me the cash that I need to put my processes in place and take the next step with that Dino's helping me walk through to scale that service line. And then don't think I'm not going to go back and pick up those other ideas. So that resonated when Dino said earlier, he's not scratching your ideas, put it to the side. Now is not the time, or the timing may just not be now. That definitely resonated with what I've experienced over the course of 4 years, that I had to okay, my vision's not going away, but I need to get one thing going really well and reap the cash from it so that I can then invest and replicate in other things.
The problem is too many people want to do it. It's hard work putting all the stuff that you need in place in order to, have the infrastructure to support the offering that you do. The problem is most people don't want, well, I'm not really good at that or whatever. And it's like, well, you're never going to have a business until all those things are in place. So you either take the time now or you're going to wobble along until at some point it becomes inevitable that you either have to take the plunge or you're going to close the door. One of those things is going to end up happening.